My name is Jenny. I'm from Native Bird Connections, and we've been coming, I don't know, 4 or 5 years in a row. It's really a fun festival. We like talking to you because you like birds. So this organization that I belong to, we've been in existence since the year 2000, and I always like to start telling you a little bit about ourselves. We have about 20 non-releasable birds, and we like to bring birds to Flyway because these are birds that you don't always get to see up close and personal. For the most part, they're injured. They can't make it in the wild any longer. And with the exception of our eagle owl, they are all wild-born. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. So the native species that you see, you're seeing because we have permission from U.S. Fish and Wildlife and California Fish and Game. This is really important. Without these organizations, we can't do what we like to do. And so they give us the permits and the ability to share these wild animals with you. Truthfully, these animals belong to all of us. We're just their caretakers right now. So we're trying to do the best job we can, and thanks to these 2 organizations, we can do that. The other thing I'd like to share with you is about these 3 words we wear on our sleeve: respect, responsibility, and reverence. These are things that are truly important to us, and they sort of guide the way we do our business. Respect is about respecting wildlife, and birds in particular, for who they are, not who we wish them to be. And that's easy to say. It's just really, really hard to do. It's something that means that we don't have them do tricks. We really admire the fact that they have given up their wildlife with their injuries, and they're willing to partner with us. This is So who knows what this bird might be? Very good. We got Swainson's hawk. This is a California threatened species, and this is a bird that you should really pay attention to. Remarkable individual, a little bit smaller than a red tail, very common in our agricultural valleys, the central core of California. The Swainson's population in California often is this darker version of the more common Swainsons of the rest of the United States. Let me tell you his story. He was in a nest in Nevada, and the nest was being watched by some researchers. Because of that threatened status, they are trying to find out as much information as they can about Swainson's hawks. And he was in his nest, he was just a baby, and he was getting ready to fledge, to fly for the very first time. So he got out on the edge of the nest, and he's paddling in his wings and getting all ready to go, and then he lost his nerve. Then he gets out on the side of the nest, and he's paddling his wings, and I'm gonna go. Well, he finally takes off. But you know what happens? He crashes. And that's not unusual. Young birds will crash on their first flight. They really don't know how to work the landing gear, and it's pretty new to them, you know. But where he crashed is he hit the researcher's vehicle, and he crashed into the radio antenna. And he did it with such force that he cut off the end of his right wing. Now, I would hate to have been that researcher. I would have felt horrible. But at least they were there, and they were able to pick him up. So this little guy does not have the tip of his right wing, and so he can't fly. And why is that really important? Well, that's certainly how they have to hunt. But in this species, they go 7,000 miles to Argentina every year for the winter. That's a big deal. And the reason is that in Argentina in the wintertime, there's a tremendous blossom of grasshoppers, and that's one of their favorite foods. They used to be called a grasshopper hawk. And they are very comfortable on the ground. They love eating insects around Davis. And there's some interesting things happening around Byron in the Clifton Court Forebay area. There's a very small population of Swainson's hawks that are now not migrating. This is really interesting because we're seeing an evolutionary change in the population as a whole. So why is that happening? We don't know. It's very interesting. Are they going to be successful? Is that going to pass on to their progeny? This is still unknown. So it's very, very exciting information.